Okay, another unboxing video. This is a, well, I hope this is what I think it is. Anyway, let me see. I don't need a knife for that, do I? Can't use my fingers today. Getting old ain't for wusses. All right. So, it is what I wanted. Okay. See, I'm trying to think. Have I ever ordered anything from Fosi Audio? I don't think I have any Fosi Audio product till now. So here's what we did. Several videos back, I made this little car stereo boom box for my son, and we used a Pioneer car stereo, some CTS 5x7 speakers, and then I've got a Memphis subwoofer with two Memphis 12s in it in a slot-loaded box. So it's going to be a pretty loud, bassy speaker box. And my first thought was going to be, I was just going to put like a plate amplifier, like a Dayton plate subwoofer amplifier onto the back of the box. I was just going to cut a hole out from the subwoofer box. But in looking at the box, it just has one speaker level out, input, one plug on the back of the box, and I measured the impedance, and it's a 2 ohm box. Now I could take the woofers and unwire them because they're wired together, and then make, because they're 4 ohm drivers, and I could make a stereo 4 ohm box, but you can't get any plate subwoofer amplifiers that have stereo 4 ohms. You also can't buy any plate amplifiers that I saw that has a mono 2 ohm output. So what I thought I would do is search around and find a little subwoofer amplifier. So I'm going to take the RCA outputs from the subwoofer outputs on the Pioneer deck. I'm going to put it to this. I'm going to wire speaker cable from these speaker outputs to the mono input of the dual 12s. And I picked this particular unit because it is rated for 2 ohm mono, which is kind of crazy. So everybody else has got 4 ohm monos and didn't mention a word about 2 ohm mono. So I've always kind of wanted to mess around with some Fosi audio gear, so I thought I would try this. So this has a power on-off switch, has the volume control that we're going to basically just use for a gain control on this, because the volume from the Pioneer car stereo is actually going to control the input to the RCA here. So it's kind of hefty weighting. I'm going to say it's probably 1.5 pounds. Pretty nice aluminum clamshell type enclosure it looks like here. Now what I wish was on here was a bass boost or some sort of frequency adjustment. But the Pioneer deck has all of that into it. It has built-in EQing, so it will give me all the frequency adjustment and everything I want via RCA. But I would like to see this. But I was reading the reviews on this particular amplifier, and everybody said it was pretty loud. So maybe we'll just get away with it and see. So yeah, the other units that I looked at had gain, not only, well, volume control, but we're going to use it as a gain control. They not only had that, but they had like crossover points and bass boost, but which is what I like to use because sometimes the deck just doesn't give me the right frequencies. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. I believe this was $72. I haven't really heard anything about bad about these guys, so I'm sure it's just kind of a Chinese bulker board anyway. Comes with a little power cord. If I remember right, this was a 35 volt. So DC, 24 volts, 4.5 amps. Neat little power pack there, so that's kind of cool. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to run it through its paces, and we'll check back in. Stay tuned, because the next video will actually be this unit in action. I want to see if there's any specs on here. This is a little 200 watt, and it's Class D, which will be just fine for bass. I wouldn't probably want to use this amp for mids or tweets or anything like that. However, I think for bass we're going to be just fine. Well, quickly, I just don't see any specs. Anyway, on the internet, it was rated at 200 watts with, I think it was 24 volts driven into a 2 ohm mono load. And that's what I was looking for, 2 ohm mono. And just looking at this, you know, there's no external heat sinking, there's no external venting. This little cube into a 2 ohm load might get a little warm. So anyway, I don't know, we'll see. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Please leave questions or comments down below.